Hello, Shoyan here. Today, I'm finishing the existing 6 tatami mat room ceiling, along with the ceiling and walls of the newly added section. Let's work on the ceiling. Before setting up the ceiling framing, I retightened the hardware. After 30 years, these nuts have worked themselves pretty loose. Some of them have turned 3 full rotations. I can't get to every single one, but I tighten everything within reach. This is the kind of thing you can only do during a renovation, so it's worth the effort. The ceiling framing is for drywall. The installation is the same as usual, but the one big difference is that the existing crown molding is still in place, so I'll be installing the drywall above the existing crown molding. Normally, you put up the drywall first and then the crown molding. Here, the old crown molding is already there, and I'm fitting 9mm board up against it. Since it'll get wallpapered over, a gap of just under 1mm is acceptable. I need to keep the boards within that range as I go. For the framing, I start by running the perimeter as usual. When securing the 4 sides, I don't string a line or snap a chalk line. The existing crown molding isn't perfectly level, but the board fits between the frame and the molding. Where the column spacing is wide, I set a vertical support into the dozashi in the middle, so the board slides in smoothly. I focus on getting that perimeter set clean. After that, the framing is the same as usual. I run the square lumber, called nobuchi, in one direction at 300mm spacing. Some carpenters like to run thin 15mm furring strips on top of the nobuchi, but personally, I prefer to just work with the nobuchi alone. The drywall screws bite well and the whole thing ends up solid. Regardless of the ceiling type, the ceiling is suspended at 1 meter intervals. I use offcuts of nobuchi for the struts. First, I screw the strut to check the height. These days, I only give it a slight crown of about 3 to 4mm at the center of the ceiling. Back in the day, we'd crown it more. But especially with the existing crown molding still in place, as it is here, too much crown opens up a gap. So I keep it to 3 or 4mm, then nail it off with a regular nail gun for a solid hold. Screws have gotten a lot better lately, so snapping isn't really a concern anymore. But iron nails just give me peace of mind. Next, I put in the insulation. There was no insulation above the original ceiling. When there's a second floor above, insulation usually isn't added. But since we're renovating, it makes sense to put it in. It's definitely better than leaving it out. I make sure to get it in properly. Now I move on to boarding the ceiling. The drywall is 9 millimeters, so a utility knife is more than enough. No need for a circular saw. Even a rough cut works fine since the edge tucks under the crown molding. I keep the cut edges toward the wall so that the clean face always ends up facing the room. The one challenging part is that this house is built on a metric module. As the boards use a typical shaku module, which is shorter, 1.5 boards don't quite reach. But getting longer metric module boards would be a hassle, so I just use standard boards. I apply glue at the seams and board it up the usual way. I'm staggering the boards at 1 meter intervals. Some wallpaper installers prefer aligned seams because even if something goes wrong, it shows up as one clean straight line. With staggered seams, that same issue shows up offset by 1 meter. But as long as the seams don't cause any problems, either way works fine. Installing the boards on the edge might look tricky, but it's actually pretty easy. I just slide it deep to one side, then ease it back into place. It's a simple slide and ease technique. I board the ceiling of the flooring section the same way. Because I added a daiwa below the crown molding, the two ceilings can't be connected directly. But since the floor clearly changes under this daiwa, having a break at the ceiling feels natural. Next, I work on the wall between the two rooms. It's 1 meter wide by 3 meters tall. The building isn't severely out of plumb, but for some reason, the original studs don't match the columns in size, and furring strips were added on top, leaving the wall uneven. Running new furring strips straight fixes that. A 2 to 3 millimeter lean isn't a problem. Only this section will end up being okabe, where the wall covers the columns. But with a TV or a piece of furniture there, I think it'll look just right. I secure the crown molding after the wall is up here. It lines up cleanly with the bottom edge of the daiwa and blends right in with the rest of the room. I use hinoki cypress for the baseboard to match the floor. Now the existing Japanese-style room ceiling and the wall at the section between two tatami areas are done. The existing room is now mostly complete. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.